Hey guys, and welcome to the ACL Pro Oceanic Open Ladder. I'm Max Rogi Fafoglia, joined by Nathan Mendrix Mendez, and boy, do we have some games for you today.
We definitely do. Coming up, we have new contenders, TheChickenTendies, and I love that name. I really do love that name. And also returning veterans, Team Passionfruit, who really did a fantastic performance last time they were here with us.
Yeah, they really showed up and just pretty much proved themselves in the eyes of the competition. Just a dominating performance, like you mentioned.
Yeah, definitely. They managed to go through and defeat roughly three teams before they were dropped out around that semi-final area in the single elimination tournament. Hopefully this time around, they're wishing them much better luck and they will do much better performance coming on through.
Jumping into Champion Select, right away we can see Sejuani getting taken out, followed by the Rise. Now this is 5.10, so Rise has had a little bit of a tune-up after his rework, a lot more powerful, and straight after that we see Callista.
Yeah, Callista definitely is a great band, and Rise himself, he was recently touched up where they buffed his Q, and they buffed his passive as well, as long as with the ultimate. So now that's going to last a little bit longer, so that gives him a bit more time to trade when it is up, and he is in his stronger form after the rework. And he's been quite the powerhouse. A lot of pros have been picking him up in the solo queue, trying him out, and he'll probably see him quickly coming back to competitive play.
Yeah, that's definitely good to mention. And followed by that, another jungler in Rek'Sai and two mid laners, LeBlanc and Cassiopeia, basically the two strongest in their role right now. But we see Wukong locked in immediately.
Wukong is a very interesting pick for DFL to pick up. He is also going to be in the top lane, so that is what he will be using. Wukong, he could also be a jungler, so it might be a bit of a flex pick as well. But Wukong is just fantastic in those team fights. He can build fairly damage-orientated, and then what will happen is when he gets in that team fight, he will actually start spinning, do as much damage as possibly can, and then try to decoy out of there once he's really done the disruption and hit everyone up.
Yeah, and Gragas and Alistar being locked in. Alistar being rated by many as a tier 1 support, maybe even the best in the game for the current meta.
Yeah, he is amazingly tanky as well, as everyone is really about that tank meta at the moment. That, as you can see, Team Passionfruit definitely following that right on through. He's got so much disruption capability. Once he gets into that team fight, he can pop his ultimate, and then he is pretty much an immovable object while it is up. So he's one of the best supports out there at the moment, and one of the reasons why he's come back to power is when you've got Callistas as well. Callista has been banned, but having such potent initiation potential allows you to have your Pulverize and your Headbutt up straight into the fight once you get in there.
Yeah, an insane combo, definitely not to be underestimated, but like you said, Alistar just so tanky, can really mesh well with any of the lane ADCs that is. And Gragas picked up, probably again another tier 1 jungler, although he did receive a slight nerf to his body slam.
Yeah, so he's hit the gym, he's missed a little bit on the radius there. Basically what they had, or what was one of the issues, was he'd come in, flash, body slam, and there was not much you could really do. You might be able to flash away, but all the disruption was put into place there. And if it was teamed up with an assassin laner, such as a LeBlanc, or someone with a lot of base damage coming on through, they were pretty much dead.
Yeah, speaking of base damage, we see Lee Sin and Zed being picked up for TheChickenTendies. So Lee Sin, he's been in the jungle, basically the top of the jungle list since his release. He's seen every meta, every champion composition you could possibly imagine, and here he is being locked in today.
He just has such an overloaded kit. And I mean, even before when that rework happened, when they did try to bring him a bit down, he still remained viable throughout the jungle. He has so many dashes, he has so many escapes, he has the ability to knock and CC as well, with also attack speed slows, and he also does a bit of a hybrid damage with his Tempest.
Yeah, and Zed, just such a strong assassin. Basically the pinnacle of what it means to be assassin in League of Legends. But as we look over to Team Passionfruit, Renekton and Sivir have been locked in.
Yeah, so looking at the Team Passionfruit have, there's not much potential that Zed has to really assassinate anyone. Sure, he can try and get onto Sivir, but she has that spell shield, which if she times right, can negate the effects of Deathmark.
Yeah, it's really good if timed correctly, as you said. Gives her a little bit of mana back. So depending on what TheChickenTendies pick for their ADC role, Sivir can, kind of like bait out some moves to just get a little bit of mana. You never want to really pick Caitlyn into that Sivir because the traps just become a free mana pot. And we see Twisted Fate hovered in, probably going to not be locked in as they do already have a mid laner.
Yeah, who knows? It might be an ADC Twisted Fate. It has happened before. Amazing engage, I guess you could say. You could say he's a upfront Ashe ultimate.
With 8 seconds left on the clock, it will be interesting to see who they lock in. And Lucian seems to be that, another just stable AD carry pick, and Annie being hovered over for Team Passionfruit.
Lucian is a fantastic pick coming through by TheChickenTendies. We have a very tanky team on the side of Team Passionfruit. So we're having that double tap, that huge upfront damage allows him to shred through tanks. If he decides to pick up a Blade of the Ruined King, he'll be very effective in this team. And ooh, looks like Victor's coming through. He was recently disabled, but oh, never mind. Back to the Fizz, back to Xiaomei. He's trolling us.
Yeah, he's just gone through every mid laner on the list. But yeah, looking over at Team Passionfruit, now they have so much tank stats on their team. Renekton and Alistar just getting free stats off their moves. A 70% damage reduction on Alistar. Even Gragas himself, a damage reduction on that Drunken Rage. Renekton, so much health when he pops the ultimate. And yeah, Fizz is going to be the final lock-in for Team Passionfruit.
So just looking to round off, they're looking for an assassin to really get into the team, in and out of the team fight while all the tanks are wreaking havoc and destruction in between there. They've got a lot of engage with the Sivir. She'll pop her on the hunt. That'll allow Alistar to get into the fight. That'll allow Gragas to get into the fight. And meanwhile, that's all happening. There's going to be a big Gator also floating around with his slice and dices. And that'll allow Fizz to come in, pop through, probably pick up either Cheeky Slav, try to pick up either Zed if possible. They're both very slippery champions in their own rights.
Yeah, Sivir Alistar, a very strong lane. We've been seeing it a lot recently. The Lucian and Janna kind of, I want to say, very strong, but not really the forefront of the meta right now. Like the Janna shield, always so potent, giving that extra attack damage, and Lucian just being able to hit you through your minions, just kind of like, it's counterintuitive. You want to stand behind your minions for protection, but they do end up being your downfall in that lane.
Yeah, well, Lucian Janna used to be one of the top combinations you could have. I mean, at one point it was Lucian Thresh, but Lucian Janna is very strong because what you do is you get Lucian to jump in to initiate, you throw the shield on him, and then he's got his double tap with the extra 80 damage. So he's got a lot of poking potential, and then he'll basically, it's a free trade because if you try to trade back, it's just going to go straight onto the shield.
Yeah, we've seen a slew of different nerfs aimed at Lucian. Some were even buffs, they were thinking, changing and making that relentless pursuit free for a while, and we just saw the reset after reset of people just dominating. But now I think Lucian is in a great spot. He's been tuned a lot, and he's just fitting more into that carry role, but not hyper carry role.
What will really bring it back again is that double tap. It's the fact that a lot of these champions or these tanky champions have been picking up that Frozen Heart, which is slowing down those sort of tank shredder ADCs out there. With a double tap, that doesn't get affected by it. He also brings a lot of utility with his wave clear, purely with the piercing light and the culling. The culling can be used both as an assassination attempt and just to clear waves because it has a really low cooldown.
Yeah, definitely. And looking back at Wukong, not a champion we see very often in this sort of scene, but Renekton, another champion that kind of came and went. So we've got more or less an assassin top laner versus like the pinnacle of a tank top laner.
Pretty much. It's very interesting to see how that particular lane will turn out. You have Renekton, who's so tanky, so upfront with all his damage. He's got more sustain as well over Wukong, whereas Wukong has his crushing blows. He has the ability to actually take away that tankiness and to really hurt Renekton. Look for Renekton to take an early lead, most likely in that lane matchup, because Wukong won't have that early sustain like he has with the Cull the Meek. But the thing is, Wukong will probably look to roam, really make effect out of that TP that he's picked up.
Yeah, the decoy just being so good at sneaking into those lanes. And with the new Black Cleaver doing so much armor shred, that will proc off every tap of his ult, wouldn't it?
Correct, it will.
Ooh.
So it is going to be a fantastic item for him as he goes on through. He's got a lot of shredding potential. He's going to definitely shred the tanks out a lot because there's a lot of takiness with the Alistar, with the Gragas, with the other team comps, with the Renekton.
Yeah.
There we go. I was thinking the alligator. I'm thinking, no. His name's Renekton. No, there's a lot of takiness with them. And if he gets into a team fight where all of them were trying to pile on through onto Lucian or onto Janna, and he manages to get a really good knock-up, he's going to shred all that armor, and that's going to allow Zed to clean up.
Yeah, the Nimbus strike into Cyclone is going to be huge. And as you just mentioned, Zed in the mid lane, such a formidable opponent, so hard to really lock down once if you can get that long-range ultimate, maybe even bait out your flash once you've done it.
Yeah, exactly. He's just such a potent laner. He's always been. They did nerf him recently, I believe in 5.9, where he doesn't have the ability to ult in and then instantly goes back to your clone, which is what they've been doing to sort of bait out and sort of outplay other champions that have the ability to stun him or stop him the moment he comes on through. I believe Ari is a good example. What they would do is they see the death mark and they'd throw their charm directly behind them because that's where he would appear. And then he'd be charmed, not able to do any damage. But the way Zeds would outplay him was they'd instantly tap back to their clone, then tap back in once the charm has been missed and then deal the damage they need to.
But basically, Fizz and Zed kind of cancel each other out with their ultimates. Basically, the first person to ult will lose the fight. If Zed ult, he loses his way to dodge chum the waters, and if Fizz ults, Zed can just deathmark out of it. So it will be interesting to see if these guys can just beat each other out with their basic abilities.
Pretty much, it is going to be a very big skill-based matchup coming out of those two players in that lane. It is very interesting because they're so slippery. Like, again, they're so slippery in their own rights. You've got the shadows to run away for Zed. You have that playful trickster from the Fizz. He's going to just jump in and out. He can playful trickster the ultimate if he's really good.
Yeah. It's insane to watch. So hopefully we see some good mechanics out of these mid laners. And the jungle matchup. We have Gragas, like we said, basically the tier 1 jungler at the moment, but did receive a little bit of a nerf to his body slam width.
Yes. So it's not really the biggest nerf if you look at it. I think it was just being a bit oppressive that there's not much you could really do to react to it. Even if you flashed in time, sometimes he still got you just because that width was so much.
But yeah, his passive just allowing him to sustain up in these kind of like these farming levels we've been seeing a lot more in the jungle. Champions just really want to get their Cinder Hulk stacking, really want to get these moves leveled up so their ganks are much more efficient.
Yeah, Gragas is actually really good in the jungle because he's able to sustain. He's not going to go into a lane fight half health because he can continue using his Drunken Rage to really keep himself up. And again, with Cinderhulk being the meta, it's just so much efficient stats, so much efficient health, and it has a bit of damage to boot now. Although at one point the damage was a bit much, and Riot have fixed it up. We no longer see those double smites on the top, with the top lanes and the junglers having it, and sometimes even the mid lanes if you decided to run a Cho'Gath. I mean, I walking into a 3 smite lanes just thinking, hey, were we ever going to get a dragon?
Well, as we mentioned, Lee Sin, basically always been a top-tier jungler. It'll be interesting to see how we can go up against the likes of Gragas.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'd say that Gragas is probably not going to be as early to the mark as Lee Sin is. His clear is a little bit slower, and Lee Sin's probably going to make some work happen as fast as he can. But it's it all comes down to really the style of the junglers. Sometimes Lee Sins like to farm up more around to that level 5, level 4 mark, so they've got a little bit of extra damage when that gank comes through. Sometimes they like to go straight for a red buff and they can go straight at level 2.
Yeah, Lee Sin, he likes to get those early fights, look in the enemy jungle and try to 1v1. But Gragas, he's no wimp in the jungle himself. He's got that percentage damage. He's got that sustain, like we mentioned. If they're silly enough to stay in the barrel, that extra damage the longer it is on the floor. He's got an escape. Gragas pretty much has everything. So Lee Sin might have been biting off more than he can chew if he goes for an invade.
Oh yeah, definitely. And, well, he can definitely try to see if he can do it, but, I mean, well, at the moment, I believe to say that the chat is off, so we'll see what we can do there to get it fixed up. And once that's sorted, we can actually jump into the game.
I do believe that's fixed. All right. And with that, we'll be jumping on to the game with TheChickenTendies versus Team Passionfruit.
Oh, I'm hungry at the moment. Definitely hungry to see what these teams pull with a little bit of a mixture there. I think a bit of actually a chicken salad maybe.
Oh, that sounds disgusting. So it will be interesting to see. Basically, they've just got a little bit of, not a fan setup, but we have 4 members of Team Passionfruit just kind of poising around this dragon. Going to make a way into the tri-bush here, but cheeky Slav, a nice Howling Gale to knock up all 4 members. They're going to stop that invade before it even happened.
Yeah, very well done there. She is the queen of disengage, Jana. It's going to be hard for this really hard engaged team to get in there. If the moment they try to engage, she's just going to use her monsoon straight away and pull everyone off.
Yeah, so it's looking good. Basically, both teams just getting their wards on the front line, really looking just to basically stop any cheeky business.
Yeah, there's sort of a line of scrimmage with the wards there. There's a bit of a deep ward there by the red side, just in the river. Maybe not too deep, just enough to make sure they've got a bit of warning if there is a bit of a sneak from the jungle, see if they can get that red buff before anyone else can get there in time. Yeah,
it looks like Lee Sin just going to be getting some help from his bot lane to finish off the Krug's going to be moving over to red. Gragas doing the same on his side, finishing off that Gromp. And the Gromp just such a great buff to have in the early game.
Oh, it is a good buff to have, especially if you're an auto-attack champion. Lee Sin, if he times in between with his passive, he can get a lot of extra auto-attacks off, which just stuns and lets him sustain a little bit longer as well.
And looks like we have Gragas might be going for an invade or an early gank in the mid. He is going to get spotted out by a nice ward. So it will be interesting to see. No, he's just going to scare Lee Sin off his Raptor camp.
And just being a bit obnoxious there, he does have the the Grump buff, so if Lee Sin does try to fight him, he isn't going to actually win that trade. So very smartly done there by Gragas and by Team Passionfruit to sort of get in there, harass, and really affect the early game with Lee Sin, where he tends to be more dominant.
Yeah, it looks like, Alistar unfortunately missing the double pulverize. Tried to be greedy and get both members, and Lee Sin, yeah, just tried to stay and finish off his camp, but Gragas wouldn't have any of it, and looks like he might be going for a red steal right about now.
Yeah, and now that he's got that, he really chunked out Lee Sin. He really needs to get out of the jungle. And this is really bad news. Gragas shouldn't be the one that's winning the jungle already. And he definitely took an advantage. Very smart of him just to really pick up that Grump and go straight into it. And a little bit of fisticuffs in the middle.
Looks like Fizz actually coming out the worst from that one. But as we see a headbutt pulverize going in on Lucian, not going to get too much damage out of it. Fizz doing all he can with that auto attack buff on himself. Fizz does have the sustained advantage in this lane, having gone for that Crystalline Flask accompanied by 3 health potions. Yeah,
and that's really the general pick that Fizzes go for. Most of the time, they're versing laners with a bit more sustain. And that Filing does hit the Alistar, but it looks like TheChickenTendies doesn't want to really go on it just yet.
Yeah, I thought Wukong would have probably much preferred a Crystalline Flask over the cloth armor here for that little bit more sustain, since he doesn't have any innate in his kit.
Yeah, he probably decided, look, I'm pretty good at last hitting. I'm just going to grab this cloth armor and the extra health potions. That'll be my sustain in lane. If Renekton tries to overextend, that's when I'll use my mana and really hurt him hard. Yeah, it's a good call, but it looks like we have a little bit of a battle in the mid lane. Fizz does have Ignite, so if he sees an opportunity, Fizz is the champion that enjoys to go all in with that playful trickster. Going to be avoiding a tower shot on his way out. And like we mentioned, the top lane, Renekton just being a complete and utter bully. Yeah, I mean, he's only got 9 CS. Well, Wukong only has 9 CS to Renekton's 25. He's gone that not the Doran's play. He's gone the longsword into 3 pots, and he hasn't yet needed to chug any of them. So he's been very effective with his Cull the Meek just to keep himself topped up and really keep Wukong out of the lane. It looks like Lee Sin kind of wants some revenge for the red buff steal. He is going to be invading here, but it has been pinged out by Team Passionfruit. Gragas and Renekton closing in, but Gragas thinks he can take the 1v1 here. Renekton just going straight back to his lane. Yeah, really just a lot of fights happening. Pure Energy trying to get a little bit of revenge on Cortaro. He's there. He's taking a bit of damage from the Grump as well. He might be able to get the first blood if he's feeling lucky. Unfortunately, the flash not coming out. He probably could have picked it up with an auto attack, but he did have 2 members of Passionfruit looking for him. They are hunting him down. It's going to be a miracle if he can get out of this one. Maybe deny himself to a tower. That's probably the most likely scenario we are going to see. Yeah, and he's definitely running into it now. That Death Beam taking him out very quickly, and the Execute goes on through. Now, that's a smart play. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to pick himself up a kill. But he wasn't... he did deny a kill in the process also. Yeah, and just a little bit of annoyance there by the Chad Payne. We thought we had got rid of it. But as we go on through again, he was very smart by Lee Sin to really deny, but now he's falling further and further behind in the jungle. Gragas is ahead. They've both picked up their Chilling Smites when it comes for their jungle item, but he's now up in CS as well, and Lee Sin is very, very far behind because he's 16-7 and he doesn't have any buffs. Yeah, he hasn't even gone over to get his own blue yet, so Gragas might be thinking that's next on the list of things he wants to take from this poor Lee Sin. Yeah, and Lee Sin, he's picking it up now. Gragas more inclined to probably head up towards that top lane. Diaval goes on in. Yeah, it looks like we see a fight breaking out in the top lane, but Renekton, when he's in those minions, for every minion he hits, Cull the Meek, going to be giving him more and more health, but Gragas just being such a pest in the jungle. Lee Sin going to try and get out of this one. The Chilling Smite has been used. Does he have an escape? Gragas' cooldown should be off any minute now. The Drunken Rage coming through, and that's first blood to Gragas, but it looks like he's not done. Wukong might be the next target. He is under the tower. Renekton is level 6, but Gragas tanking it up. He is going to tank it while Renekton should be able to just solo this one out, and the Dominus just doing so much damage over time. Such a fantastic play by Team Passionfruit, really showing themselves to be performers again in this competition. Gragas knew Lee Sin was behind. He knew he'd already been going around harassing him. He may have been bullied out last time, but he's not going to let it happen again. And then after that, just to keep on going on through, knowing how much damage Renekton has in that early game, he sat there and juggled that aggro perfectly. He didn't even need to let Renekton. He only took 1 shot, and that was on the way out. Yeah, it was great teamwork by Team Passionfruit right there. Like you said, knowing where their advantages are and knowing how to abuse them. This bot lane looking kind of even. We see a little bit of CS discrepancy in favor of Team Passionfruit. The Sivir is up by quite a bit. She hasn't gone back for a buy yet. She does have still a health potion in her back pocket, so any trades will be in her favor also. Exactly. And also with Sivir, but Renekton, he's still not done. He's going back on Diaval. Yeah, looks like a nice trade considering how far behind Wukong is. He does have his Cyclone available. Renekton did use
Wukong rather used his teleport to get back up to that top lane to not miss as much CS as he would have normally by walking.
Yeah, and he's picked up also just more health, more sustain there. Alistair goes in.
Yeah, a nice headbutt pole combo. Just the boomerang blade hitting both members, I do believe, hitting Cheeky Slab twice even.
Team Passionfruit are just out there to get TheChickenTendies at the moment. They want to be the most delicious team on the field.
And looks like Alistair not level 6 yet, so he might be a little bit hesitant to go for this early dive.
Yeah, and Divel's just sort of pushing away Renekton at the moment. He's there, pushed up to the tower. He knows he has the advantage. He has a 40 CS lead over that Wukong at the moment, 17 to 57.
Yeah, this is going to be scary when Renekton goes back for his buy. But looks like Lee Sin trying to take the crab, but Gragas gets the crab and he might also get the Lee Sin here. Wukong going to come down to try and help, but Renekton has also followed through. Lee Sin flashing over the Renekton, but that's not going to be enough as a cull the meek culls the meek.
Pretty much. He thought he could be a little bit sneaky there. He managed to pick up the root crab, but at what cost? And Cheeky Slab goes in there, but just knocked away. There's more happening in top lane.
Yeah, we see the Cyclone straight onto Gragas. A Deathmark coming over, but the perfect body slam from Gragas to get over the wall, but the Deathmark is going to be enough to finish him off.
Yeah, that Ignite also going there. Just a little bit of overkill, I would say. But Pure Opponent wanted to make sure that Gragas was going to be down into the drunk tank.
Yeah, Gragas pretty much overstaying his welcome there. He wasn't level 6. He didn't have the disengage from Explosive Casket right there.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, not unfortunately for them, fortunate for TheChickenTendies, unfortunate for Team Passionfruit, TheChickenTendies are now on the board.
Yeah, it's nice to see them picking up a kill. It just seems like the Lee Sin is having a real tough time. It's good to see his team react when the Gragas goes for those invades and they are able to pick up a 1-for-1. But Fizz taking a few many tower shots here, but it looks like Alistair just watching Lee Sin do his buff. He smited a little bit too early. Here comes the Shark, and that's going to be a dead Lee Sin.
And that was really funny by him there. He's just in there laughing, going, I wonder when the casters are going to notice this. Oh, there they are. They have noticed it now. And really, really good playful tricks. I thought it almost whiffed a little bit there when he came on through, but he managed to land a Shark, and then he was easily able to go with Urchin Strike and pick up the kill.
Now, this is why Alistair is so great with the Sivir. We see Sivir just pushing the wave into tower the second the minions just come up. But I must digress because a tower dive seems to be coming in from Alistair. He does get the headbutt pole. The ultimate is running. He is tanking as many tower shots as he can. Gragas is there. Looks like Lucian will be the first one to fall. Cheeky Slab soon to follow. But a potential double kill here for Rainy, and that's on Alistair finishing the last one. I do believe his passive stole that.
Yeah, I think it did as well. He does have that red buff as well at the moment because he manages to steal it from Lee Sin, so that also would have definitely helped with him stealing that kill. Look at that tower juggling, both of them walking away on just nothing, but Pure just comes in on Rainy.
Yeah, Rainy pretty right there, so it will be going to be retreating from that because Lee Sin, even 2 levels behind, is a formidable opponent with that movement speed slow along with the resonating strike follow-up damage.
Yeah, and because it is a bit of an execute on through as well, the lower you fall on damage, the more damage that's going to be done. Renekton pops his Dominus.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see who can win this fight because the Cyclone is there. Renekton does have a finished Black Cleaver, so armor is going to be getting shredded by every tick. So Wukong, he is going to have to retreat. The flash onto the stun. Will Wukong get out of this one? Oh, he jukes back with a Nimbus Strike into a decoy. Will he be able to escape? He does not have his flash available. Renekton, he's trying to go for the double decoy, but I don't think he's falling for that one as Renekton just welcomes him to his grave.
He's sitting there going, I wonder if that debuff there of the armor means that actually means you're of debuff, or does the decoy actually go through with that? But he was just sat there thinking, no, I know you use a DK before, you're definitely going down. And Alistair, he's not done. He's making moves on the mid lane.
Yeah, a nice headbutt pole into Zed. The Shark is still going to hit through the Deathmark. Alistair just doing what he can to provide the ganks everywhere, and Sivir just doing what she does best in a 2v1 lane. Just pushing out the lane, getting those nice last hits with the Ricochet combined with Boomerang Blade.
Yeah, Sivir's fantastic for it. With the Ricochet and Boomerang Break, there's not much you can really do to push that lane up. She will easily clear the wave out. And now Alistair's also going in to see if he can make something happen in the bot lane. Diavol's also a bit tempted there. He's got Purged one on the ropes.
Yeah, it looks like Cheeky Slab might be in a bit of trouble here, getting headbutt right into Rainy. The Alistair ult has been popped. The Boomerang Blade only hitting Cheeky Slab on the one way back. The Monsoon is going to be enough to disengage, but here comes Lee Sin, caught out of position once again. Fizz is making his way over the explosive cast, going to be knocking Lee Sin into the wall. The flash over by Gragas. Renekton slice and dice into a Cull the Meek. It's going to be enough.
Just a little bit of style points there by the Renekton. He knew he could go back in and out and straight into the Cull the Meek. definitely culling the Meek at the moment. That poor Lee Sin is 0-5. He really needs to go onto damage control and get as tanky as possible, so that way he's going to be kicking Rainy into the team. That's his best bet for the rest of this game.
Yeah, it seems like Team Passionfruit have just really run away with their jungle presence. Lee Sin doesn't really feel safe. That could be playing a little bit on his mentality. You've got to be feeling down after that, but he does have backup in the top lane from Wukong and Zed. They don't want to give away the jungle without a fight.
Yeah, and at the moment they're just sort of sitting there with so much pressure in the top lane. That dragon has still not been taken. Who will be the first team to pick it up? Pure Punish is just doing a little bit of damage there. Not doing any damage, actually. That was the damage by Dearvol. Pure Punish looking to get onto the Renekton there. They're both packing in the bush. They're thinking, can they actually start another fight?
Yeah, it looks like Fizz is just having a free time in this mid lane, though, getting a lot of CS and a lot of experience. Level 9 to the level 6 Lee Sin that has unfortunately been given the task of holding the tower, but that's all she wrote for Fizz, unfortunate, Lee Sin rather. Zed going to try and escape from this one. Wukong going to be providing the peel with the Cyclone, and Zed going to be walking away but licking his wounds in the process.
Yeah, and in that mid lane, Fizz said, hey, you're not a Zed. I can just throw this ultimate right onto you and you there's not much you can actually do to escape. Thank you very much. And then in the top lane, Honoka just being such a big brute. And same with Gragas. He's just been up there all game, it feels like.
Yeah, Gragas basically has 2 jungles at this point. I don't remember seeing him back in his own jungle unless it was for a buff. We can see every camp on his side of the map is up and available, ready for the taking. It would be nice to see Siva maybe going for a few of these after she's pushed up her lane, but no sustain just yet, so the jungle camps do a lot of damage if you don't have the armor to back it up.
But she doesn't really need to. She's got a lane trying to take advantage of the fact that there's no support there to take the tower, but she's still there. She's holding her own against these two for a very long time.
Yeah, look at that. Siva can just clear a wave without even worrying about overextending. So much range on the Q, and yeah, it's really nice to see the confidence coming out of Siva to win a 2v1 lane.
Look at where she's pushed up to on the mini-map. She does not care. She's there saying, bring it on, both of you. I reckon I can take you both right now. She does have that Infinity Edge complete, and she's going up against a Bilgewater. Maybe the CC from Janna might be enough if she overextends, but she's just playing it carefully, and she's winning trades by herself.
Yeah, the minions are her only support right now. Once she's taken them all out, she pushes up with them, knowing there's no fear to come from Lee Sin, but Gragas going for a flash headbutt. Pulve unfortunately missing, but the Unbreakable is going to be enough to tank up the tower. Looks like Lucian will be the main focus. The Shark coming out. He tries to flash it. Unfortunately, not all too late as Janna is just going to watch herself die under the tower. And this is going to be a tower for the red team.
2 kills and a tower. Really well played by Team Passionfruit. They're exerting their dominance at the moment. They know that they're ahead and they're taking control. They've only got the 1 kill on the map. When did Renekton get there?
Renekton, he didn't TP in, so he must have walked down. It looks like Wukong and Lee Sin have just taken the top half of the map. We can see Lee Sin has cleared the camps from Gragas' top side jungle, and Wukong might be able to get some damage on this top tower. We see Renekton porting in to save the mid lane. Zed does a lot of damage to towers with that bonus AD he gets, but it looks like Renekton will have none of that as he gets a nice stun. Oh my lord, the Tiamat just doing so much damage.
He is deleting people at the moment. With that Black Cleaver and the Tiamat, he shredded the armor and he finished them off. Again, culling the Meek. That poor Lee Sin, he's on 0-7 at the moment. He's still trying to go damage. Looks like he wants to pick up the Warrior Enchant. He should be going for Cinderhulk now and getting as tanky as possible.
Yeah, it looks like Wukong's probably going to be trading his life for this turret. I think he's realized that, but no, he's going to try and flash behind it. I don't think there's much escape here. Renekton might have the slice and dice available. Nothing to get the dice off, only a slice. Looks like they will be going over the wall, trying to cut off his escape. Probably his best bet to try and deny to a tower, I think.
Yeah, he's walking through there. He sort of moved it. It seems he's going to decoy an extended stop decoy to get away, but the Alistar is on his heels.
Oh, but the headbutt pole does miss and gets him to safety. Wukong will be able to Nimbus strike out of this. Oh, but it looks like the Chum the Water is going to be doing so much damage. Zed luckily avoiding it, but the Fizz, the rest of his kit is there, and there comes the culling. More like a Meek culling out of Lucian right here. It looks like a 2v3 coming, but Siva is there. She does have a level 2 boots along with an Infinity Edge, and that's going to be enough to pick up some kills.
Yeah, very well done there by Fizz. He saw the opportunity to throw out his Chum the Waters, instantly get onto Zed. There was no way Zed could actually use his ultimate yet to get off onto anyone. Once it actually had the damage amplification on and the damage dealt, that's when he went in. Zed tried to deathmark, but it was too late at that situation. And Kotiri just so big on the Gragas, able to soak up all that damage from the culling, and they were still able to engage back on. They're going to pick up the mid lane turret now.
Yeah, TheChickenTendies, they need wards. They need to set up some kind of death brush. Just get a catch, get a tower, and kind of snowball that gold into cost-efficient items. Like you said, Lee Sin, he needs some HP. Unfortunately, he is going to be going for that warrior enchant, like you mentioned earlier. They're not the stats he needs right now. He has a lot of damage on Lucian and Zed. He needs to be a front line for his team.
Yeah, and that gold lead is just so almost depressing at the moment. It's at 12k up. They're just going through. They got the brute force.
Yeah, another Chum the Waters coming in. I don't think Zed's going to be able to escape this one, but Fizz, he does get the zone as the Ignite is ticking. It will be running out the second it goes out, but Lee Sin trying to make something happen, but the playful tricks are going to be avoiding the second proc of the Q. And it looks like Renekton just disregarding the inhibitor turrets right here.
Yeah, there's not much they can really do in this situation. Diavel's up on the top lane. He didn't want to have anything to happen in that bot lane as the tower goes down. Will he be able to get him?
He's gone for another sneaky decoy, but the pink ward in Gragas' arsenal. Oh, unfortunately missing the explosive cast. Maybe a little bit of something else there, but it looks like an inhibitor taken in the bot lane for Team Passionfruit.
Yeah, maybe he had a bit too much to drink there. Maybe he thought, I don't need this ultimate. I'm just going to throw it on the side anyway. But now they've picked up that bottom lane inhibitor. They've cracked open the base. The Baron is up in a minute and a half. That's probably what they're going to look to next to really close out this game. It is really up to TheChickenTendies to go back into damage control, really stop all this pushing going to happen in the sea if they can turtle up against the powerhouse that is Passionfruit.
Well, I guess the silver linings of the super minion wave is that Lucian will have a safe spot to farm right in his base. The minions, they're not going to get frozen. They're not going to get caught up anyway. They're going to come right to you. He can sit back and farm safely. Hopefully get that Blade of the Ruined King finish. It looks like he did go for a bit of an economy build, like we said earlier. That's what he's going to need to do, and picked himself up a Brutalizer.
Yeah, he really does need to complete an item. He'll probably go for that Yumu's Ghostblade because it does provide so much early burst potential. In this situation, he might have missed the mark because, I mean, now it's at 16k in Team Passionfruit's favor, which is very hard for them to overcome. And if they do, I'll be very impressed.
That body slam still hitting despite Zed having gone through the shadow. It looks like Zed will just be the sacrificial lamb for his team, but the kick back into Lucian. Gragas getting a nice three-man stun. Here comes Renekton in the backline. The dominance has been popped. Wukong gonna get Chilling Smite. He's trying to bait out another effective decoy. It looks like Lucian will be escaping the Renekton, but it looks like Renekton doesn't want a bar of it. He will be diving the tower, but Wukong, he's on the run. Can he get another clutch decoy off? I don't think so, as Siva just getting those crits in.
He decided to go, well, you know what? At least I've got a ward on Dragon. That Chum the Waters hits.
So much damage. Earth just devouring Lee Sin as he comes up out of the water with that signature Earth.
Pretty much. And then Alistair thinking, no, you did not get a ward on the Dragon. I am going to go clear it for you.
Oh, boy. But like we said, they really need to be grouped up for these scenarios. We saw a nice kick from Lee Sin, basically separating the Gragas from the rest of the team, but unfortunately, he's just so tanky at the moment. It looks like he's building the likes of a Trinity Force. A nice explosive cast, just knocking Zed right back into Renekton, and I blinked and I missed it. He was dead without even a chance.
Yeah, he was deleted from the map instantly. That Renekton is huge. He's just building damage at the moment. He's trying to get a bit tank up. There's so much action happening everywhere.
Yeah, it looks like Lee Sin getting dived in the top lane. Fizz being able to negate the damage and the tower aggro with that playful trickster. Siva going to be picking up that one. Alistair trying to take up the inhibitor turrets, but this could be potentially the end of the game depending on how Team Passionfruit play this. They've got their eyes locked on Wukong. He is going to be escaped, but a nice kill picked up for Lucian, but that's not over. As Renekton comes in, so much damage getting dealt onto Wukong. Fizz in the backlines, and he's going to pick himself up another kill. The Deathmark coming through, going to be instantly Zonia's. I think he's come too far. The Will of Chum the Waters hit. No, unfortunately misses. The shutdown gold going to Zed. Renekton going too far, getting taken by the Nexus itself.
And he got executed there. There was no damage done onto him. He was just okay to get out of that. Rainy popping that spell shooter at the perfect time as well. And maybe this is it for TheChickenTendies. There is not much they can really do in this situation. That tower is going down, and they're also got more super minions coming through as they take the middle inhibitor. But is there still hope? 329 with almost a 20k difference to take out.
Looks like the Purge one has plans of his own, going for a nice culling, but the Sivir doing so much damage. But Wukong coming in with a clutch Cyclone to knock her up and a double kill for pure ponage.
There is the gold he needs to get back into the game. There still is a lot happening on the map. They still haven't taken out that inhibitor there. A bit of hindsight probably needed by Team Passionfruit. They decided to go for kills. They could have taken an inhibitor.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be good for Lee Sin. He's going to be able to finish up his Ghost Blade, giving him that extra armor pen, that extra movement speed, and a little bit of crit to top it off. A great item on that champion.
Yeah, and Lucian's there also has picked up now that... What's the recurve bow? Oh, you know, I have never seen it that often on an ADC. It actually blows my mind that because now that they've recently changed it so that it does build into the recurve bow, the only person really picking that up was Ballista. He's definitely going for a Blade of the Ruined King that'll help him chug down those tanks. But I would have liked to see the Yuma's Ghost Blade completed before then, just to get him a little bit of extra gold. If he had that Avarice Blade, it actually would have given him a bit more gold to actually get back into the game.
Yeah, and he needs all the gold generation he can get at the moment. I'm sure his line of thinking is, everyone is jumping on me. I need that extra movement speed to escape. The relentless pursuit not going to be enough to get him out of these sticky situations. But now Team Passionfruit have their eyes on the Baron.
Yeah, they're moving there. They're getting the wards up around there. They seem to be divide and conquer. Wow, I didn't even see that happen.
That just seemed like the dice hit for about 500 in combination with the Ravenous Hydra at this point. Scary stuff to think.
Yeah, and with that Brutalizer completed as well, he's just also got even more armor pressure on top. And looks like they have started the Baron as well.
Yeah, the pings are going down by Team Passionfruit. Good game sense by the TheChickenTendies to try and scope this one out, but I don't think Janna has seen the barrel barreling down on her. The exhaust, is it going to be enough? Yes, the shield going to be enough to save her in combination with the exhaust. Picking the wrong target again. Wukong, he's going to try and come in for something sneaky here, but I don't think anything's going to happen.
And then at that moment they're going on through. There is a lot happening there. And Kontori is just going on through. He just stopped the entire engage from happening in that situation. He was there. Wukong was trying to ultimate right on in, but he still managed to stop both Janna and also stop the Wukong ultimate from happening.
Yeah, really nice play. And the Baron was picked up in the midst of all that fighting. Another inhibitor going to be going down in favor of Team Passionfruit. It looks like the third final tower in the top lane will be falling very soon. Looks like this game will be over very soon by the looks of it.
And they want to take all the infrastructure on the map. They want to get the bottom inhibitor, the mid inhibitor. They also want to take the top tower. That has just fallen. Everything is being taken now by Team Passionfruit. They are... Oh, an amazing pulverize.
Yeah, it's the last-ditch effort from TheChickenTendies. It looks like they are being wiped out with Sivir and Renekton just doing a ton of damage. Fizz picking up a nice kill. Looks like the headbutt, no pulverize to follow, but the Nexus is open. But it looks like they do want to pad their stats a bit, going for kills. Alistar, even with that, without that ultimate, feels like he has 70% damage reduction. Oh, and so much damage getting dealt to Lucian. Even with that Blade of the Ruined King, it's not going to be enough to save him. And that's going to be an ace for Team Passionfruit. And potentially, well, most definitely the game.
Yeah, most definitely the game. The Nexus is falling down quickly there. Team Passionfruit just sitting there looking for more kills. Lee Sin goes in. Will he be able to get it? No, he's just going to be ace again.
Yeah, the double ace coming through. And a beautiful display from Team Passionfruit, really dominating the competition. And each lane doing very well to win the game.
Yeah, each lane came out on top there for Team Passionfruit. The jungle Gragas was huge. He made sure Lee Sin had no impact into the game, and it was very well played by Team Passionfruit, really exerting dominance and showing their actual contenders for this Oceanic Open ladder.
Yeah, it was great to see. Like we mentioned, basically everyone doing their roles well. We saw the Gragas actually being the more aggressor in the jungle, going for those drunken rage chunk outs and really making Lee Sin's life a living hell.
Lee Sin had the opportunity to almost take him out there. Unfortunately, he managed to get out with his body slam. Lee Sin fell pretty far behind, and then he was not able to do much in the game. He really should have picked up more tanky stats instead of going for that warrior enchant for his Chilling Smite.
Yeah, a little bit greedy on his own there, it seemed. And yeah, so we saw Zed, the Fizz matchup, seemed to be kind of even for the most of it, but at the end, Fizz's team just helping them snowball. We saw the Alistair roam coming up clutch towards the mid of that game.
Yeah, very well played by that Alistair going on through. So we're going to have more action coming on up on the Oceanic Weekly. Don't go away. I'm Nathan Mendez, and this is Max Rogi for Foglia.
Yeah, thank you.